All right, hello, good evening. We are the Game Reactionists. I am Rorschach,
And I'm Spectre.
and we're just diving right in here. I gotta turn that down a little bit. Today was Capcom NEXT 2024. Yet another summer showcase. Now, they have come out and said that Capcom has come out and said that they're focusing on only 3 entities. Resident Evil information, Dead Rising Remastered information, and I don't know if I'm saying this right, but Kamitsugani or Gami. It's kind of like that stylized Devil May Cry-ish type game. I don't know if you remember which one I'm talking about.
Kind of, yeah.
Okay. So yeah, that's what we're gonna be looking at here. Do you have anything that's piquing your interest, or?
Not necessarily. I got nothing against Capcom. I think they've been on a really good streak in recent years. They've been doing pretty well. I'm not really like a huge fan of a lot of their IPs in general, but I mean, I enjoyed the Resident Evil 4 remake. I kind of have a passing interest in that series in general. I love Devil May Cry. So I mean, there's definitely things of theirs that I really enjoy.
Okay. I'm kind of in the same boat. I think with Capcom, the only thing that really, turning this up a little bit, the only thing that is really interesting to me is just the Resident Evil series. I'm not a Monster Hunter. I'm looking at these games now. Mega Man, no affiliation with. Monster Hunter, Street Fighter, none of those games are games that I had any particular interest in or loyalty to. So
yeah, I know that they're super popular. They have huge mega fandoms behind them. Street Fighter, of course, too. I'm more of a tech guy.
Kamitsugami. Sorry to interrupt you. That's the game. That's how you say it. Kamitsugami. Go on with your thoughts. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I mean they make pretty good quality stuff overall. They have a tendency to rehash the same things over and over again quite a bit, but I mean,
if it's not broke, why fix it?
Right.
All right, and this is supposed to be pretty short. I think it's only like a half hour long, if that. So it looks like we're getting right into it. Now, what about Dead Rising? Were you a Dead Rising guy at all when it originally came out, or?
Actually, well, that was one of the first games I got for my Xbox 360. I think it was that and Gears of War.
Okay.
And I enjoyed it. I think one of the things that was, it was just a fun, casual game just to have and play with your brain off everything, sort of like a Grand Theft Auto in a way.
Okay.
I think if you actually try to go through it and do like all the missions and the achievements and stuff, it's actually kind of stressful because there's like a strict time limit to the game. You have to get like certain like laundry list items done at certain times and days. I had like an in-game clock that you had to keep track of and manage, so it was kind of like, it was sort of like, you had like, it sucked the fun out of it to some degree for me. But I mean, if you just play it just to have fun and find goofy stuff in the game, it had a good sense of humor to it. So I think the gameplay itself was enjoyable enough. Will I get like a Dead Rising remaster? Probably not.
Okay. And this game's coming out pretty soon, actually. This is coming out July 19th.
Japanese-inspired setting. The innovative gameplay combines elements of both action and strategy games.
So this is one that's just like, okay, this looks pretty interesting, but I'm not gonna get this. By the way, how's the audio of the showcase itself? Should I turn it up
Everything
at all?
sounds good.
Okay.
During the day, you'll explore the villages. Help fix the broken contraptions and purify the villagers. Then you'll be able to give the villagers roles and choose where to place them.
Oh, so it sounds like some strategy elements.
That's kind of neat, yeah.
The game will test the player's decision-making abilities. During the night phase, the Seethe attack the villages.
So you're basically prepping your village during the day for the incoming battle at night.
Yeah, that actually does make it more interesting to me. It sounds like it's kind of like a tower defense type of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
That's not what I was expecting.
This day-night cycle and purifies villages with Yoshiro to bring peace back to the mountain. The Seethe attack the villages in many different forms. Getting help from the villagers is essential to make it through the wide array of challenges presented.
It is a very stylish looking game. It's a very cool looking game. I know this will not be something
you can freely reset upgrades
put my
and
time
redistribute
into.
them to other roles. Customize the roles however you want. You'll also be able to upgrade as you play through the game. Upgrade attacks, unlock archery, and use skills to summon the villagers. There are a variety of elements that can be upgraded. Combine So's upgrades with abilities from Tsuba Guards and Mazo Talismans. Expand the strategies and actions the player can take. Work effectively with the villagers and guide Yoshiro as you purify the villages. Next, take a look at this.
Okay, so the demo's out today.
I mean, credit where credit's due. It's something new. It's something different.
Yeah, it's completely new.
I was just complaining about Capcom kind of just rehashing the same things over and over again. At least this is something different to try.
Yeah. Are you gonna play the demo?
I might check it out. I definitely would. I would definitely do the demo before I would commit to a purchase.
Right.
You can play part of the main story in a demo version, and there's no limit on playtime or the number of times you can play.
Okay.
We're excited for you to experience this unique combination of action and strategy. We also have a new announcement.
Oh, really? Cross Okami,
Okay.
huh? Okay.
To celebrate the demo version, Kunitsugami Path of the Goddess will have a collaboration with the 2006 action-adventure hit Okami.
I think in Japan, Okami still actually. Capcom did that big survey not too long ago, and I think Okami is actually still like in people's minds after all this time. You know, it's still actually popular.
Okami had 2 games, did it not?
There was Okami, and then it was re-released a bunch of times, and there was a DS version of the game as well too.
Okay.
But it was ported a couple times. And
because Okami originally came out on the Wii or the GameCube?
If enough
PlayStation 2.
work together and try
Oh,
the
okay.
demo version,
Wrong on both accounts.
we will include the
it was ported
Okami
to the Wii.
collaboration
The
items
Wii
as a
version
free
had that
title
infamous
update on
cover
release
where
date
they
for everyone who
accidentally had the
purchases a copy
IGN
of the
watermark
game.
on the cover.
Really?
Yeah,
I don't remember ever seeing that.
Yeah,
Please see our
if you look at the
website and
Wii box
social
art, it has the
media
IGN logo on it.
Oh my gosh.
Kunitsugami Path of the Goddess is available for pre-order. The Mazo Talismans
You should
for
check out that
sale and
Capcom
the
survey. It
mini
actually has some
artwork are
fascinating,
included as pre-order
unintentional
bonuses.
things that it pointed out.
Check out the demo
Are you talking
version
about the most
available
recent
today.
survey?
Yeah.
Yeah, I took the survey.
Okay. Yeah. And, if you look at the results, it's.
Well, you know what the most clamored for Resident Evil game remake is in that survey, right?
Next up,
5,
a
of
new
course.
look for some
No,
fan
it's
favorites.
Code Veronica.
Want the
Oh, here we
inside
go.
scoop on the recently revealed Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster? We've put together an exclusive top-secret program full of undead mayhem. Join us as we sit down with key development team members from each title
I don't
to
like
unearth
this.
the secrets of Dead Rising and the new look for Resident Evil 7. First, take a look at the trailer.
I hate when any developer does this sit down with the team crap. I've never played Dead Rising, if I'm being completely honest with you. When Dead Rising came out, it just... I think Left 4 Dead was still in full swing.
You have to remember, it came out. It was really at the height of the zombie craze.
Yeah.
And what I liked about it is it had a real sense of humor to it.
Okay.
It was not meant to be. It was not like a a serious take on the zombie genre. It was completely silly.
Did you just say zombies?
Yeah.
Take a look out there. Those ain't zombies. What would you call them? Quick, move! Get over here!
Okay, so it came out in 2006, so it actually came out before Left 4 Dead.
Yeah, it's an old game. It came out right along the like the launch of the 360, because it was only on the 360 for a while.
Christ, 18 years ago. Think about that.
I know.
Oh man.
But yeah, it had a lot of goofiness to it. Yeah,
I mean, it I remember it looking goofy, and I'm trying to think of what I would have been playing around then, where I wouldn't have even given this any thought. But
What you just witnessed is
my zombie craze for back then was when Left 4 Dead released. When that came out, and you know, I experienced versus mode. I mean, that's the only game I played for like a solid 3 or 4 years between Left 4 Dead 1 and Left 4 Dead 2. So I would have never looked at a game like Dead Rising and given it any thought.
Considering the work we put into it.
Yeah, no, I really enjoyed
Before we
Left
could
4
even
Dead
ask
1.
a
I really
question,
got into that
Mudai
game
was
a lot.
giving us the inside scoop about the game. The first
You didn't like Left 4 Dead 2?
is the improved
No, it's not that I didn't
graphics.
like it. I really just devoted all my time to Left 4 Dead
Allow
1
the
and
game
Gotcha.
to run
everything
at
there possibly was to do in that
4K
game.
60 FPS.
Okay.
And by the time
you
2 came out, it was 2 just felt like it was too soon for me. I was already playing other stuff,
as well as other
and
adjustments to
I
make
wasn't over
controlling
the first
frame
one,
more
so it just
intuitive.
I mean, if Left 4 Dead 2 came out like
Thanks to
6
popular
years later or
demand,
something like that, 5 or
we've
6
added
years
an
later, maybe I would have been
autosave
into it
feature.
again. But I
Okay.
just was, it felt like too soon for me.
It did come out relatively quick. I mean, it did come out a year
Will be
later.
fully voiced in 9 languages, with text in 14.
I liked it. I think
giving
Left 4 Dead
players around the
2
world a chance
really
to enjoy
became like
characters'
the quintessential
dialogue.
title once they brought in
We've also
the
made
Left 4
some
Dead 1
improvements to
maps and then
NPC
all the extra
that we hope
DLC.
will
Like,
make
I still
surviving the
have
zombie
my copy
apocalypse
of Left 4
with all
Dead
the
2,
colorful characters that
and
much more
that
enjoyable.
was where it was supposed to be.
That sounds
Oh,
like a
I
complete
forgot to bring up
overhaul.
chat.
It makes me wonder
I
if
just
the
got
game's main
notification that we
concept
have
is still
somebody
intact.
complaining about chat.
If you've played the original,
Which
rest
is
assured
fine.
that its core remains unchanged.
I
in
can
this
only imagine
deluxe
who it
remaster.
is.
We did our best to respect the direction of the original game.
Stupid.
We kept
I
the
blame
fundamental
OBS.
gameplay the
For whatever
same
reason,
while
it doesn't
improving
bring
upon
up the
user
chat doc right
experience.
away.
With this, we believe
Okay,
that
here we
both
go.
veterans and
Roar
newcomers
Flask
alike
isn't
will
but.
be able to enjoy
What did I
the
miss
fresh
about
experience.
Next Resident Evil? I don't play the games because scary, but they're interesting. Also, what in the hell is up with all the remakes? I don't mind some really good games getting love and re-releases, but Jesus, are there no good new ideas? Well,
There aren't. Everything good has already been done.
Don't complain. Also, your question kind of answers itself.
Definitive answers out of Director Mudai. We gave art directors
Have you
Satoshi
played
Takamatsu
games
the
like
third
Marvel's
degree.
Spider-Man
It turns
2
out he had
or
ambitions
Final
of his
Fantasy
own for
7
this
Rebirth?
project.
If you've played games like those,
Because
where
the
they are
original came out
adequate
18 years
games
ago,
at
there were
best,
many limitations
except for
in
Spider-Man
development.
2, I would argue that's just a dog shit game.
Thanks to nearly 2 decades of technological
And
advancements,
we have Sweet Baby
we were
Inc.
able
to
to
thank for
accomplish
that.
a lot that
Thank
couldn't
for
be done
that, but
back then.
even Rebirth, it's just
For
the
example,
greatest games.
Resident Evil,
Yeah, they've all
Capcom's
come
other
out.
zombie franchise,
So,
focused on
in terms
quality
of
over
what
quantity.
you missed about Next Resident Evil, we haven't gotten
Dead
anything
Rising
about
took a
Resident Evil. We're
different
talking
approach.
purely about Dead Rising right now.
The goal was
So,
to pack as many zombies as possible
we're still
into that huge shopping mall.
waiting to see the news on Resident Evil.
This meant each individual zombie
Also,
wasn't as polished as
War
we would
Flask
have
is a
liked.
butt. Yes, I
However,
probably am.
This time around, we were able to focus on quality as well. As the art director, I couldn't be more pleased that we were able to apply high-end modeling and
We have our
production
number one
to
fan
both
here,
the main character,
Spectre.
Frank, and all
So
of the
make sure
NPCs.
you give him
Of course,
attention.
another critical aspect of Dead Rising that we have to address is the shopping mall setting. In the original game, the Willamette Parkview Mall is made up of several
I think the
areas,
biggest thing
like
with
Entrance
re-releases,
Plaza and
remasters,
Paradise
remakes,
Plaza,
etc.
each
too,
with its own unique
is they're the
characteristics.
safest option. You know,
We've
you
taken
don't have to
these
worry about
designs
introducing
and
something
evolved them
new
even further by adding
by
real-time
offending
lighting
somebody.
and shadow
You know, at least with a
effects,
remake, if there's
so
something
that
offensive
each
in a remake,
location takes on
you
a
can
different
just
appearance,
easily say, well,
depending
that's
on the time
what was
of
in
day.
the game originally, so we have no control over that.
No,
how
that's not
much
what they do. They
detail
just completely
we've put
rewrite
into
it.
this project.
They modernize it, like what happened with Resident Evil 4.
That's not what they did.
They modernized it.
That's not what they
Character
did.
animations,
They can't have jokes at the expense of women.
use the original data
They did
as
have
much as
jokes at the
possible,
expense of women.
especially during action scenes.
No, they didn't.
Okay. I played that game 10 times all the way through.
I
They
played it
most
10
certainly
times.
did. Between Xbox and PlayStation. They most certainly did.
That made the original Dead Rising so special.
It may have not been as on the nose as you would have liked it.
Takamatsu was
I can't remember if it was the original Dead Rising, or I know one thing is going to be changed. I can't remember if it was in the original Dead Rising or in 2, but there was a trans psychopath boss that you had to fight. I can't remember which game it was in, but it was completely played up and it's ridiculous as you'd imagine, and it was a very different time. But I can't remember if that was in 1 or 2.
Oh, here we go.
Like,
They're going to use the famous words. Improvements were needed to reach a modern audience.
Yep.
There it is. Oh my god. Those are the terms you don't want to see.
Its unique game design allows it to stand apart from other zombie games. It feels fresh even today.
The true test will be Metal Gear Solid Delta. What is Sphincter's most anticipated game at the moment? I think he's talking to you, Spectre. What is Sphincter's most anticipated game?
But this game
there we go. Somebody finally came up with a funny,
with a wry smile on his face, Morimoto
funny,
took out his phone and showed it to me.
Well, he was calling you on the Spectrum the other night.
Yeah, but that's not as funny as Sphincter.
They're both pretty funny in my book.
What's
Oh,
my
wait,
most anticipated game? Is that what he was asking? I can't see chat.
Yeah, he asked, what is Sphincter's most anticipated game at the moment?
As with Resident Evil Village,
Probably something that hasn't been announced yet. Next Armored Core game, which has been hinted at, but not announced like officially yet. That's my most anticipated game. In terms of what's actually announced and has release dates.
That being said, when playing on a mobile device without a
I
controller,
guess, yeah, I do want to play the not new the new God of War, but God of War Ragnarok. So that's coming up soon for me. PC port's coming up soon, and I guess part of me is morbidly curious about Silent Hill 2, so I guess that would be it. But in terms of like actually like good like new IP, like that's or not new IP, but something that's new. That isn't a remake that's coming out. Space Marine 2 would probably be it.
Didn't Armored Core just have a release last year?
It did, but if you look back at the history of Armored Core, they tend to have a follow-up very, very quickly. Not like a new numbered game, but like a sort of an expansion pack type of game release that builds off the first one, off of the main numbered game. So it's not unusual for another Armored Core game to come out within a year or two after a mainline Armored Core game, because they have everything that they have the building blocks for already. They have the engine, they have kind of the updated models and parts and blah 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 blah. So that they have all that stuff. Now they just need to kind of remix it and redefine it into a kind of expansion pack / sequel. That's been the historical. That's been the history of the Armored Core series, though. Traditionally.
Space Marines 2 does look good. Was that From Software that did last Armored Core? Yes, From Software has always done the Armored Core games.
Correct, since the very beginning.
To your point about what you were saying with Armored Core releases, I don't think you'll get them as frequent as you did. You gotta keep in mind too, video games are much larger, expensive, and more in depth than they were back in the PS1 and PS2 days, even the PS3. So you may get DLC for Armored Core 6, but
included as a pre-order bonus.
I wouldn't expect a new mainline entry anytime soon. And it sounds like our Resident Evil news, by the way. is just that it's Fear Comes Home. Okay, so this is gonna be. Oh my god, this isn't even fucking news.
Is this the only news, really?
This is unforgivable. I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed Resident Evil 7. I did. But your Resident Evil news in your event today is Resident Evil 7 is coming to Apple and Android devices. Or not even Android devices, just iPhone,
How did
Mac.
Capcom's two major zombie games,
Fuck
Dead
you,
Rising and
Capcom.
Resident Evil 7, come to be made in the first place?
There's got to
We
be something
interviewed
else,
the
right?
directors of both titles to learn more about the games. First, we have Koshi Nakanishi, the distinguished director of Resident Evil 7. Follow along as he shares previously undisclosed information about the game's
Who
origin.
cares?
When we first started development, Resident Evil was, well, if I'm being honest, as a brand,
What's your
we were
most
off track.
anticipated game that's actually been announced
The
and has
action
like a
element had been
planned
expanded,
release?
and fans
For me?
reacted much more negatively
Yeah.
than
Oh, hold on.
expected.
Let me read chat real quick. I haven't played
the
From
end,
Software
an
games, but know they're a
RE
really
game has
good
to be
dev
scary.
group. They get a lot of praise. It makes me
So
hopeful
if we
that
took
while the
another
story
look at
might be forgettable,
And the general
Playground
consensus from
Games
fans
may
of
do a
the
good job
series
with
was that a
Fable.
Resident Evil game
Oof.
is one that should scare the hell out of you.
That's
That
a
was the
hot
starting
take.
point for Resident
That's
Evil
not
7.
one that I'm gonna
I
co-sign
played Resident Evil from the beginning.
with
And
regards to
those early
Fable.
games were
Yeah, no, and I mean,
I mean,
I
we've
really
seen-
enjoyed,
we-
I
we've
really
seen
enjoyed the
7
original
into a
Fable
game that would live
game,
up to
but
the RE name.
it was
Yeah.
actually the reason I got it. That was the reason I got
Introducing
into like an
Resident
original
Evil that
Xbox.
Nakanishi was after
Part of the
had a
motivation. I wanted to play
major
Halo,
impact
but I
on
wanted
its
to
release.
play
But the
Fable, and at
course
the
that
time
he
it was a
chose was
console
far from the
exclusive.
path of least resistance.
Yeah,
But
I
I
mean,
didn't have a PC that could handle it
In
at
order
the
to
time.
make a
Fable 1
fear-focused
through
Resident
3
Evil, many elements of the game had to be
were good titles.
reevaluated
Obviously,
from
Fable 1
scratch.
is the best. Fable 2,
Like the setting,
I thought was fine.
Fable 2 wasn't too bad. It had a really, I mean, it had some okay ideas to it. I remember like the dog that you had was like a really big thing they put in that game. I do remember some bad, like baffling choices they made. Like the final boss of that game is literally like a QuickTime event.
I guess I'm curious, like, why would you feel? What has Playground Games done before? Like, what? I'm curious what games they have released that would
it's not as immersive and frightening.
constitute your faith in
First person
them.
forces you to
Okay,
be
so it
up
looks like
close
they've done
and
some
personal.
Forza games.
They've only done
so,
Forza.
So they've done Forza.
And that's
So you're
exactly
gonna.
what
So
we're trying to
Forza games,
How did
may,
Colin
while they
always
may be
the
good,
target
those
audience for
are
this game?
completely different games than what
We
Fable
weren't
are.
sure whether to
Yeah, if
target
they were making like a
casual
Fable
or
racing
core
game.
audience.
And he does. I mean, he to his credit, he does point that out. The Forza Horizon games have all been wonderful. That's why I'm hopeful. I know different genres, but still the attention to detail.
And made
Uh,
what we thought would be fun.
I don't know. You and I may differ on this because
Had a
I'm
range of
very much
experience
into like
directing Mega
the
Man Legends and Breath of Fire,
Dark
and he was confident
Souls,
in this new genre.
Bloodborne type games from Software. You're strictly Armored Core. Would you say that although those two games are different, very different settings, do they kind of reflect each other in any capacity?
Ready for the situation.
I would say that, I mean, there's definitely some overlaps between the two.
Dilute the madness.
You know, I'm not saying they're two completely different games.
Okay.
But I they just, I guess in terms of game feel and like what they're going for, they couldn't be more different in just every way. Even on things like soundtrack and music, they just go for something completely different from each other.
Sure.
You know, it's so I mean it's I think it's fair to say that if you're a kind of like us, if you're a Souls fan, you will not necessarily be an Armored Core fan, and vice versa. I think they're different and distinct enough. You know, even if they're from the same, you know, overall developer. It's just like, you know, like a Capcom example. Like, just because you like, you know, Resident Evil doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be like a Devil May Cry fan. You're completely different from each other, you know. Or even a better example like Dead Rising. Like Dead Rising is also a zombie game, you know, like Resident Evil, but it's so different in terms of what it's going for compared to Resident Evil that I think you can it's
For a
very
second,
distinct from
we
each other.
started to doubt ourselves.
We still also need to hear S Clap's
Such an
most
innovative
anticipated
project was
game.
bound to grapple with internal friction.
You're killing me with these names.
I thought the best one for you was ball sack or
previewed
whatever
it
you said last time.
and got mobbed. Players loved that you could use a
That's an old
I
one
think
from
you
my
said that- I
from
think
my
you said that the
Warzone
other
days.
day.
Even that's old.
when I knew we'd done.
That's an oldie from my Warzone days.
I still can't say whether it was
My
targeted
most
core or
anticipated
casual
game,
players,
God.
but everyone loves zombies.
Honestly,
being
and
able to mess
it
around
can't
with
be a
them in so many
remake or a
ways.
remaster.
I
Is
thought
that
people
the
in Japan
condition?
and abroad would all like the game.
Sure.
However,
Okay.
RE4, a game without zombies, was released the year before.
I'll
Was
say,
the Dead
and
Rising
this is
trying to
probably just an
dethrone the
easy
RE
phone it in
franchise?
answer, but I am intrigued with the Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom.
Dead Rising one of the classics. Also, I think anything with
I think
zombies
You're a
that-
woman now.
needs a sense
Well,
of humor.
you play as Link finally. After all those years of us
Zombie
playing
outbreak
Zelda in
is
the
a
Legend of
disaster.
Zelda games,
But I think you
you
need
finally
to
play as
laugh,
Link.
too. If there are laughs, you can have some
If you don't
cheers
understand the
as well.
meme, then
They
get
keep it in the
fucked.
dresses and stuff.
Evil, on the other hand,
Like that was part of the
the main
goofiness of the game. Like you could go into like women's clothing stores and like you can change Frank's like the main character's clothing whenever you go into a store. Like you just walk up to like a clothing rack and it'll switch outfits. You can even do that with women's outfits.
Yeah.
But I think
That was back when that stuff was funny.
Yeah.
With a ton of
Now
ridiculous
it's
stuff.
reality.
Now
If
we'll
you're
say
looking
he's
for a
like this is
clear
just part of
answer
him
to that
expressing
question,
himself and
in the
he's
context of this program,
It's how he's
I think
born.
it's
Gender
fair to
dysphoria.
say that
I will say
Dead
it's
Rising
Legend of
is
Zelda:
the
Echoes of
classic zombie
Wisdom.
game.
I like the way that
A
they're
lot
going to
of people played
be
the game when it first came out, but it
implementing
wasn't
the
easiest to
gameplay
play.
and you using
Now
the
that it's been made a little more accessible,
whatever
I'm
power
excited for
rod or
those who
whatever.
didn't play or couldn't finish.
that's probably my
another
most
chance.
anticipated game. It's such a different direction for Legend of Zelda.
Each of the directors had different
In more ways than
experiences,
one,
but we
and
like
so
to
I'm
see
really
both
looking
for
forward to
their
seeing
innovative
how it plays
contributions.
out.
And finally, we managed to draw out an intriguing bit of information from director Nakanishi. We'll let
Nakanishi.
him have the final
So
comment.
this is the director of Resident Evil 7.
We're making a new Resident Evil. It was
No
really
shit.
difficult to figure out what to do after 7. But I found it. And to be honest, it feels substantial.
The next one will be
I
in
can't share the
space.
details just yet, but I hope you're excited for the day I can.
We have an announcement of announcement.
We have an announcement of an announcement. God, is that it?
Here's a quick roundup of the games we introduced today that will be launching soon.
Okay.
God, that's such a cop out. That'd be like he may as well come out at the end of there and say, "We are developing games."
2024. Try out the demo
Rest
today.
assured.
I am directing a new game.
Evil 7 Biohazard, which will
Yeah,
be
new
available
games
for
are
iPhone,
coming.
iPad, and Mac. You can play the opening section for free.
Who gives a shit?
Who's gonna play this stuff on their phone?
And finally, 18 years after the original release,
I mean, listen,
the
I
original Zombie Paradise action
speckle
game,
what you
Dead
take on
Rising Deluxe
solely
Remastered.
digital only
This is
consoles
more
and
than your average
speckle.
game.
That Speckle's weak. You gotta stick with
That's
it.
fucking.
Sphincter.
It's so
Sphincter
stupid. It's
respect.
funny.
Path of the Goddess and Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster are available for
What is your
Well,
take
I-
on solely digital only consoles in future? PC feels like one thing, but those markets seem to be
That's all we
different
have for you
than
today.
Xbox and
Thanks for
PlayStation.
watching.
Yeah, no, yeah, PC's a different market. I mean, in terms of like what about like
Play
digital
up to
only
2
consoles?
hours
Like, I
of
mean, I think that's just going to be
Dragon's
that
Dogma 2
it's
during
sort of an
our
inevitability.
limited
That's what's going to
trial
happen. I think
campaign.
consoles eventually are you're going to have.
Trial can be
You know,
transferred with
it's probably not going to be
purchase
next
of
generation,
full
maybe not
version
even the generation after that, but you're going to have a
Venture forth
generation
and
coming up
taste
here
of
where
adventure.
you're not going to have the option to have
Fantasy world.
physical media. I think we've seen signs from all three of the big companies that they're pivoting away from that. That's what sales would suggest, and you know, it's just kind of it's become a really niche thing. It's gonna be just like physical PC games, which still exist in some forms, but they're like collector's items. They're something you get from like limited run, or I just ordered today from John Romero's website. He's re-releasing a game from the early 90s on a floppy disk. They're printing new floppy disks for it. So, but I mean, that's just for nerds like me that like physical media on PC yet. But I think that's what's going to happen to consoles over time. It's going to be a little bit slower, but I think eventually in another generation or two, you're just not going to have that anymore. They're pushing for digital downloads, and beyond that, they want things like digital downloads. They want streaming. That's just what they are pushing for, and most of the audience is acquiescing to that. They don't really, most of the audience doesn't really care anymore.
I think it's just a bummer that now I'll have to have a separate device just to play physical movies.
I mean,
if you intend to purchase new consoles, still, sure. I mean, I've been pretty transparent about this. Once consoles make the full jump to digital only, I'm done with modern gaming. Period. I can't justify spending money on something digitally and not having anything to show for it because it's digital ownership, and that ownership only means as much as the license is valid for. At any given time, the license agreements can expire between the distributor. So like your Steam, your Sony, or your Microsoft, and the publisher of that product, and it can be yanked from the store and pulled from your library, even though you've pulled from it. We've seen this happen. We've seen this happen already with the Metal Gear Solid HD collection, where it was yanked from digital storefronts, and people who owned the game digitally could not play it. That's a problem. That's something to be worried about. And then we've seen this even more recently. Is Ronery fans a bit of a stretch for? Yeah, that's kind of a stretch. Ronery fans.
What?
Like, I think he's trying. I think he's doing like a Chinese accent of OnlyFans, but saying Ronery fans.
Ronery?
That one not your best. You can do better. I demand better of you.
But no, I think the fears of that stuff is way overblown. Maybe more so on console, because consoles are these walled garden, watered down PC devices that, once the storefronts go down. But even then on console, it doesn't really matter either, because you can just mod them and jailbreak them. So I mean, I'm not worried at all. I mean, first of all, my digital purchases on things like Steam, for instance, all of them are cheaper than what the physical equivalents were in the past. I'm paying less and less for games than I ever have, and I don't have to pay like a fee for just accessing like the online portions of those games. And I treat it like essentially like an extended rental. If things ever go down, then that's fine. But I have them as essentially an extended rental. If Steam Store ever did go down somehow, I don't envision that happening. There's alternatives, obviously. Put on the pirates cap for a moment. There's ways to access.
Not that we games. Endorse piracy.
I'm endorsing that.
We are completely against piracy. Shame on all of you people who do that stuff. We are just in a hypothetical land, in the imagination land, so to speak.
But hey, I mean, there is that phrase. If purchasing a game does not confer ownership, then is it really theft if it's pirated then? Can I pirate a license?
Yeah.
So but I mean, and on the physical front, there's nothing stopping you. It's actually, I mean, it's not even talking about piracy. It's perfectly legal, despite what Nintendo says, to back up physical copies of games. If I have tons and tons of physical PC games. There's nothing wrong with me backing up those games.
Yeah.
There's nothing illegal about that. And that's what I do. So I mean, I'm not worried about losing those games, and those are more secure than anything else. So I think the fears about losing a digital library are overblown, even on console. Because even on console, what happens to consoles? That you can jailbreak them. You can turn them into devices to play things even without.
You can turn them into devices to play older titles, but not necessarily play titles that exist on those devices. If that were the case, Metal Gear Solid 4 would be readily available on every platform by now, and yet it's still locked on PlayStation 3. Even if you're not a Metal Gear fan or whatever, that game is one of the best examples of a game where it's just like, oh yes, let's we can just pirate our games and play it wherever. Find me a valid working emulator or mod of Metal Gear Solid. I'm sorry, I said Metal Gear Solid 3. I meant Metal Gear Solid 4 for the PlayStation 3. And
well, I mean, in terms of, I don't really get into like, what, I don't really care about like having consoles jailbroken. I mean, that's an interesting like hobby, I think, but I think everything just fundamentally goes back on PC. You can just play it on PC, including PlayStation 3 emulation.
And to that point too, I'm sorry I interrupted you, but you've seen me firsthand struggle with getting Soul Reaver 2 to run on my PC. I cannot get that game to properly run on my PC. It's a known issue between GOG and Steam, and I can't get that game to run where it's playable. I can't even get past the cutscene in order to be able to start playing that game without having to jump through a myriad of fucking different hoops. You know how I don't have to jump hoops through that? I just grab my PlayStation 2 copy, I throw it in my PlayStation 3, I'm good to go to play that game.
You're talking about one example of of having compatibility issues with a game.
I gave you two examples: Metal Gear Solid 4 and Soul Reaver 2. I'm sure there's more.
What your PlayStation 3 emulator is not working?
What? No, I'm saying you can't play Metal Gear Solid 4 on PC.
Yes, you can.
Not very well.
You can emulate it just fine.
You can't. Find me one.
Okay, what is it? RCP S3 or whatever. Go download that and find the ROM somewhere from Metal Gear Solid 4. I don't know how you would find that ROM, and then run it through that, and then boom, you got your game playing there. There you go. But back to your Soul Reaver point. Like I said, yeah, with some of these older games, yeah, it might take a tiny bit of effort, but for the most part, that's literally the only game I can think of other than Silent Hill 3, which I did get to run. I got Silent Hill 3 to run. I just didn't get the enhancements for it to run.
I did buy Assassin's Creed 2 on Steam. Something happened that disconnected it from my Ubisoft account, and I cannot play it.
Yeah, that's an Ubisoft issue. Just go get like a cracked version of Assassin's Creed 2.
Yeah, just keep jumping through various different loopholes to just play your game on PC.
I'm just saying that there's always options. Can I play?
Yeah. There's always.
I play Assassin's Creed 2 on my PlayStation 5 or whatever. No.
By the way, for anybody else who is remotely just interested in the Capcom showcase that has ended, basically a whole lot of nothing interesting. I'm cool with it. I'm cool with this conversation continuing. I really am. I just want to let people know, like, Capcom is done. Like, Dead Rising's coming out in September.
There was nothing in that. Like, I mean,
I said sprinkle.
The cap in Capcom.
Sprinkle makes. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Sprinkle makes some good points though. He was talking about the points you were making earlier about PC, and then he said, "I'm pissed you ignored me calling him Sprinkle." So the Capcom showcase is done. We're now talking a little bit different here. We're talking differently here regarding, I guess, game preservation and access to games. So we've got Assassin's Creed 2 as an example for a person, and I know this is all anecdotal. For me, it's just a matter of, jumping through minor hoops. Like Soul Reaver 2, I spent maybe in its totality a solid 2 to 3 hours messing around with files as it's recommended to do on Steam, to try to get it to work, to try to get it to play. I mean, that's 2 to 3 hours of my time, and I still couldn't get it to work. And I know you linked me some additional stuff from Steam. It was basically the same stuff that I was aware of and that I followed to the T. I followed the instructions, and it doesn't work. Now, thankfully, I mean, it's a game I bought for $1, right? So I'm not going to miss that $1. I don't care, and I own a physical copy that still works. But it's examples like that where I'm not. I'm sorry, I'm not.
I mean,
I'm not ready. I'm not ready to
example of
buy
it.
into, the digital age. If my PC is not like a high-end PC by today's standards, but I bought my computer back in 2016, so it could play Destiny 2. If my PC can play Destiny 2 on max settings for that time period, it should most certainly be able to play Soul Reaver 2 from the PlayStation 2 era, and it can't. That's a problem. My PlayStation 3 can play Soul Reaver 2, no issues. I don't have to mess with files or anything. I open the case, put the disc in, I'm good to go. 3 minutes tops. That's including me. That's including me wanting to look at artwork.
I just think one example of a game is not sufficient here, and it's not that it's impossible to get the game to run. The game can be run with some fiddling around, obviously. But speaking of which, I just downloaded Legacy of Kain Defiance. It worked immediately right away. No problem at launch.
Defiance does work. Yes, it's Soul Reaver 2. What also annoys me about digital age is that I do not believe our internet infrastructure is there quite yet between speed, access, and overall quality of services. I don't know if I buy that necessarily. I think internet is most certainly leaps and bounds where it should be currently. But you can
download games. I mean, very, very quickly. You can download a full game and in no time at all. So I think there's my overall point is I think there's answers to all these problems that you're bringing up, and I still think it's in terms of platforms where you can play the most games regardless of how old they are, when they were released, what system they were originally released on. I think you're still best off with a PC. Will you have a few bumps in the road occasionally with some games, especially old ancient games? Maybe, but eventually, I mean, there's such a wealth and plethora of information out there to fix these things. You don't need to be like some kind of tech expert to understand this stuff or fix it. There's very few problems that you run into that just can't be, that aren't able to be solved. And even on the physical front, there's nothing stopping you from making your own physical versions of games as well too. Why are we reliant on a corporation to do it for us when they're going to use like I said, the cheapest discs they can find? The crappiest discs they can find. It's not hard to burn a disc. Make your own physical copies of things. Make your own physical backups of things. It's not that hard to do. If you really care about it that much, it can be done cheaply, and with really low effort. I mean, you can even do I'm not even talking about pirating. You can even do this stuff legally. With things like GOG, where it can be done so easily. It's literally just clicking and dragging an executable file over to a disk and burning it onto a disk, and boom, you have your game backed up, and you have a physical copy of your game, or your sacred physical copy. I just think there's solutions to all these problems on this system, and if you look at consoles, they all have drawbacks. They're limited devices by design. There's a planned obsolescence to consoles. They're not meant to last forever. They're not meant to play everything.
Neither is a PC. PCs aren't meant to last forever. It's still a piece of electronic equipment.
You understand what I'm saying in terms of
no, I don't.
Games being compatible.
I don't understand what you're saying. You said they're not meant to last forever. The same argument is applicable
I can play
to
a
PCs.
PC game from 25 years ago on my modern PC.
Play Soul Reaver 2.
Can I take an
launch
NES
Soul Reaver
and play
2
that?
right now? Buy Soul Reaver 2 for $1 and launch it right now.
Here, I'll play a game older than Soul Reaver 2.
No, I'm asking you. I'm using Soul Reaver 2 as an example specifically because that matters. By the way, with regards to burning,
I'll get Soul Reaver 2 running. Then what's your excuse?
Hold on, get it running, and then fine. Then I will have
argument after that.
What's that?
What's your
get it running first? Get it running.
Okay,
first.
then you won't have an argument. So if I get it running, then you'll admit defeat.
Get it fine, but you won't be able to get it running. So get it running first.
Okay, I get it running.
By the way, reason why I don't want to burn a copy of a game. I mean, that's pretty dope looking artwork. Like I'm gonna burn
good artwork on disc too, man.
Yeah, sure. So hard. How much? Yeah, so you gotta
have like some magical sorcery laboratory where they make.
No,
these
I
games.
understand.
Literally,
You're talking
it's
about
cheap
buying a
assembly line where they pay people pennies.
right.
To
You're
stamp
talking
discs.
about buying a high quality printer to print the artwork on the discs. How much do those run nowadays? Maybe they're a little bit cheaper, $1,000. I gotta pay I'm gonna pay $1,000 to possibly print my own high quality artwork on discs. Is that anything?
As
Have
many
you even?
as you want. And I don't think it's $1,000, but you can print as many as you want. Way cheaper than going out and buying old copies of video games.
So I pay for Gigabyte and Xbox Live PS5 downloads much slower. That could be, are you using the provider's equipment? That could be related to that. You are always better served to getting your own equipment with regards to a modem and router, and also hardwiring, which I'm pretty certain you do hardwire. If you're doing Wi-Fi, that could also be the issue. Also, their services do go down every so often. You're beholden to being connected to internet to play. I don't think that's the case for even Steam games. I don't know if I can co-sign that.
It's not. It's not.
And then it's an extra cost. I pay $60 for a digital copy that I need to maybe make my own physical copy, or $60 for a physical copy, and that's also a big factor of it. Why am I going to pay the same price for a digital copy when I can pay that price for a physical copy and I have something to hold in hand? Also,
if it's all about cost, then just pay nothing and pirate it.
Also, get Soul Reaver 2 running.
Well, here, to answer that question, if it's all about cost and we're worried about saving money,
you've answered that. You've answered that. Pirate it now. Get Soul Reaver 2 running and do it on stream right now.
Okay, I'll get it working here. Let's see. Hang on, let me pull up my Elite Hack.
I'll give you my Steam login so you don't even have to buy the game.
No. I'm not gonna work off your broken settings, whatever you try to do to it.
Huh? I'm just.
I don't know how you tried to monkey around. If you probably fucking deleted it or did some crazy stuff to the README file or something. You probably intentionally looked up how can I make so it never runs.
Okay.
First thing I would do of yours is verify the files. First thing, because you probably screwed something up.
Okay. By the way, I cannot seem to find. I need a copy of Blood Omen 2 from the Legacy of Kain series on PlayStation 2. Apparently, I thought I owned it. I cannot find that game for the life of me anywhere. Nobody seems to have it. It's not an expensive game. Super common game.
Which game?
Blood Omen 2. I have it on the original Xbox, but I don't have a PS2 copy, which is weird to me. It's crazy to me. Getting back to your point about cost of games, where you said, "Oh, just pirate it." Where can I pirate a copy of Resident Evil 4 Remake and have it run successfully? Or these may not be popular examples, but even games like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth or Elden Ring or the Shadow of the Erd Tree DLC. I mean, these answers you're giving are just they're elementary at best. They're not actual options. You know, if you're talking about pirating a copy of a game like Super Mario World from Super Nintendo, fine. That fucking game's been out for 30 goddamn years. Yeah, it's going to be super easy to pirate that game, but you're not going to be able to do that easily and without any possible issue for any modern video game. The best example you could give for a modern video game was Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom from last year.
Games get cracked really quickly. The only ones you're going to have any trouble with are de novo games, which, yeah, de novo is terrible. I fully acknowledge that. It hurts not just pirates, but people that actually buy the game, too, legitimately. De novo is terrible, but de novo is also being circumvented as well, too. So, yeah, is it perfect? No, but I mean, if you're looking to, I mean, it's still better than the options you have elsewhere. Is what I'm trying to say.
I'm still waiting for you to get Soul Reaver 2 running.
It's not that quick and easy to do. Okay.
It's not that quick and easy to download the PS2 game on Steam.
Okay, well, get Soul Reaver running on your PlayStation 5 or your Xbox.
I can get it running on my PS3 right now.
Well, that's yeah. So you have to have how many devices hooked up to play your library of games?
I mean, I can get my Soul Reaver 2 running on PS3 right now. I can get
who's
it.
talking about hoops.
I can get it running sooner than you can get it running on your magical PC.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay, whatever.
Okay, whatever.
Here, okay, let me download PCS here.
Go ahead, download it.
I was downloading an emulated version of it. Okay.
Go ahead. Download whatever you want. I'm gonna walk nice and slow here. I might have to change the input for my television. That might take me a little bit of time. You know what? I gotta turn on the light here. Hold on. I have my disc in hand. I haven't inserted it yet. Okay. I haven't held the PlayStation 3 controller in forever. Do you have it running yet? Do you even have it downloaded yet? Do you need me to wait?
Give me 2 seconds here.
2 seconds? Hold on. We're gonna go for a little ride with the camera here. I think you can hear the game in the background. Let's see here. Just for the sake of the channel, let's see if I can put this on the floor here. Yeah, you can see the TV just fine. Do you have it installed yet? How much longer do you need me to wait? Do you want me to hit start?
5 minutes.
Oh, before it was 2 seconds. Let's get some more Legacy of Kain. I would love a new Legacy of Kain game, honestly, or even like a remaster or re-release of the originals. So I have the game running. Did you even download it yet?
I'm downloading an emulator first.
Oh.
At last. I must say I'm disappointed in your progress. I imagined you'd be here sooner. Tell me, did it trouble you to murder your brothers? Did it trouble you when you ordered me into the abyss? Eternity is relentless, Raziel. When I first stole into this chamber centuries ago, I did not find the true power of knowledge.
Now I know you can't really. It's small here, but I'm loading into the game now. Now load times being what they were.
In your case, when might be more apt.
I'm still waiting on you. Do you need me to wait? Thought Spectre was pretty golden.
If you prefer,
I never said you could get it like I said. You're picking the one game that is having any kind of like compatibility issues. Let's see.
this orb disables our
You're yet to point to
Well,
another
you
game.
said
that has
you said it was pretty.
You're yet to point to another game that has any issues at all.
Assassin's Creed 2,
seems to have the same
Metal Gear Solid 4. Get those games running right now.
Oh, well, it's gonna take some time to download emulators for all that stuff, obviously. Because I don't use emulators for those games. I don't care. What do I care to play Metal Gear Solid 4 or any Metal Gear Solid game?
Gotcha. I think we'll stick with your whatever response earlier.
My boy. But you don't. Are you so certain of that, Mobius? My road is time
The one complaint about this is you can't skip the cutscenes. Excuses, excuses, says the chat. I'm thinking that too.
Some 30 years from now.
How long has it been since we said the Soul Reaver 2?
Just as fatalistic as he is. Death comes for us all. Raziel. It's just a matter.
I'll bet I can beat this game. The Master Race ain't so masterful now. Actually, I do want to use my PC more often. I mean, I do want to get a newer PC myself.
You're acting like I'm some kind of like complete PC genius. That's the whole point of this. You don't need to be like some kind of like crazy coder to do this stuff.
So, get Soul Reaver 2 running. What's taking so long? It's taking so long. It's not a particularly large game. I don't even think it's a gig in download size.
Yes, but the glorious days of the Sarah.
So it should be as simple as just downloading it and playing it. What's taking so long? I'm already all the way through an actual cutscene here before I start playing on my PlayStation 3, my antiquated device that's not built to last. By the way, we are the Game Reactionists. This is probably one of the more exciting episodes we've had in a while. So if you like this kind of content or this kind of bantering between Spectre and myself, please like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so that you're aware of when we upload new content.
Every scrap of information you toss me. You have a reputation for deceit. And who has slandered me so? Your malefactor, Cain? The one who betrayed and destroyed you? Our common enemy? Consider the source before you judge me too harshly. We'll forget about rekindling our old friendship. Consider an alliance based on our common ground.
Oh, Mobius, you shisty shyster. One thing I hate about PCs is all the flipping cords involved. My goodness. You gotta buy a webcam and a microphone and this, that, and the other thing. Here.
See how he lingers at the very pillars he is destined to destroy, foolishly confident that he has eluded your grasp. The pillars are still standing in this time. Yes, the embodiment of the divine force which preserves the life of our world.
We're going on for a ride here. Did you get Soul Reaver 2 running yet? Do I have time to get another
I'm
drink?
getting it. Hang on.
Okay.
Which that balance turns. I believe you have already
Extract.
wrought by this terrible, selfish decision.
Show extracted files. That's what I was looking for.
Upon this world, as long as he lives, all of Northcott is in peril. You may never again
Okay.
be human.
See if that does it.
But you can embrace the essence.
Alright.
And the nobility of your son.
Freckle doesn't want to play Soul Reaver. I'm happy I caused this chaos.
It works.
But first,
Show it.
you will need to find
Okay.
your way out of the stronghold, and in this, I'm afraid I cannot help you.
How the hell do I show my screen
Will
now?
not understand your appearance.
Oh, here we go. How can you know the real problem is Discord.
Fear, of course, and no match for you. Try to keep the casualty minimum.
Share your screen.
Do I have to stop sharing mine in order for it to...
Oh, here we go. Screen one. All right. Resolution 1080p. Oh, please, come on. Whatever. Okay.
I surveyed
720p, whatever. Fuck you,
and
Discord.
noticed a second time streaming chamber. Its entrance identical to the first.
I
Is
see.
it actually showing?
Yeah, I see your Steam.
Crystal significant. But how? I have not yet discovered.
Start game.
Looks like it's working, man. I don't know.
Wow. All right. Good for you.
Okay,
Oh, I have
so
a
do you admit defeat now, like you said?
Not really, because I had my game launched quicker than you.
Oh yeah, the game you had held in your hand. I had to actually troubleshoot and figure out the game, and I got it running. The one game that you could think of.
By the way, I think my PS3 controller is broken. Darn. Oh, wait, no, it's fine. I am going to have you, whatever you did, I'm going to have you do it on my PC so I can get it fucking running on my computer.
now you need me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, make fun of PC.
Can you skip this cutscene? I won't be convinced until we get into gameplay.
I've never actually even played this game.
Very, very good franchise. You might actually enjoy the games. I would recommend.
I have no idea if controller support's working or not, but that would be a separate issue to fix. But
It's supposed to.
I think this cutscene's skippable.
It's not.
Okay. Getting a solid 60 frames per second here.
Today marks the end of Game Reactionists, now behind the era of Game Fightionists? What? Game Fightionists? I don't
You
even
can't
know.
turn everything into a pun, man, or whatever.
Yeah, it's not working, man. Don't you have some dogs to hang out with?
I'm gonna try the controller. There's no way the controller's working right away, but I'm gonna see if it does.
It's supposed to have controller support, according to the Steam page.
Let's see.
I'm gonna get my camera back.
It's work. I probably need to remap the buttons, but it's working. The only thing I can get to work is the pause button, but if I remap the buttons, I can make it work. I'm just glad he's still in chat. I'm glad he was here to witness me being vindicated here.
Vindicated with what? It took you longer to
I
get the game.
I got it running.
You got it running fine, but it still took you longer than me.
Oh yeah, it took me all of like what, less than 5 minutes?
No, it was about 15 minutes.
50. It wasn't 15 minutes.
It was 15 minutes, guy.
Okay. Yeah, compared to the game you have in your hand.
It seems I have a broken PS3 controller, though. But yeah, so what you're saying...
Just use a different type of controller on this system. Use an Xbox controller.
So what you're saying is... I witnessed something. You had to pull nuclear launch codes to make it work.
But that's my point, though, man. Like, I'm not like some tech genius. I'm just not retarded.
So...
You don't have to be like some like
there's no hoop. There's no hoop
lead.
jumping on consoles. You're right. The complaint you made, where I pulled the game that I had in my hand, it's the game that I own, and I threw it in my console, and it worked. And I got it in a matter of seconds. I would have already been done with the first level. You're still watching a cutscene.
It's not my fault the game is like trying to tell us war and peace story here. Like Jesus, like let me get into the game.
Yeah.
Did Kojima make this? This cutscene so long.
No, because it's actually interesting.
You underestimate me, Raziel. Let me show you.
He would have already came in his wife. Who? Rorschach?
Unaware that I've snatched you out of the time stream and brought you here to me.
And fallen asleep.
How he
Yeah.
lingers at the very pillars he is destined to destroy, foolishly confident that he has eluded your grasp. The pillars are still standing in this time.
I get this running on Steam Deck and portable. Your console can't do that.
My console just did it.
We who serve the
My console literally just played it. I didn't have to jump through any hoops.
Cool. Go, audience at home, go jump for the hoop of buying that physical game and having it shipped to your house. We'll see who can get this running faster.
Sure. Yeah, or just don't get rid of the shit that you pay for.
You
Yep.
may never again be human, Raziel. But you can re-embrace
God, this is a long cutscene.
and the nobility of your Sarafan heritage. Go to him, Raziel, and end this.
Is yours running at 60 FPS?
You will need to find your way.
I don't know. I already turned it off and I'm putting the game away because I had already proven my point.
I proved my point too. I got it working.
Understand your appearance here.
How the fuck did you get it working?
You needn't fear.
Because I'm obviously a genius or something.
Done, and then I never have to worry about it again. Exactly. Just put in the fucking... God, this game isn't even a fucking... Yeah, it is not even a giggle. I must have just a shitty PC.
I think it's user error.
Could be. Walk me step by step on what you did.
Okay, yeah, it's gonna blow your mind what I did.
Well, I'm downloading it now.
I had to make my own decompiler and make my own operating system, and yeah, it's incredible all the crazy things I had to do.
Alright, so I've installed the game. Now what?
Oh, finally, I have control of my character. Wah. Wah, wah. How do you jump? Action shift. Oh, the team map. Okay. Oh, okay. Okay, that's how it goes. Okay. Oh, he like flies. Glides a little bit.
Glide.
It's falling with style.
Falling with style.
All right. Well, this game is fascinating, but I'm gonna turn it off for now.
Alright, so what did you do?
All right. Here, let me show you. You can still see my screen, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Go to this website.
Discord it to me.
I did. Then you're gonna want to download this Soul Fixer DLL.
Oh, so something else I gotta download. You can't even spell...
Extract anywhere but the theme folder.
You can't even spell
the EXE.
operating system. Operating system.
What's that?
Soul Fixer DLL, okay. So I gotta download this, alright.
Then you have to extract.
Uh-huh.
Then you're looking for that, what's it called? That D3, D8 DLL file.
Why is it not letting me extract?
I can't even see your screen. Okay, do you have you downloaded it to your desktop or something?
Yeah, oh, here. Nice.
All right, go on your desktop.
Here.
I can't see your...
Am I not... Oh. Why is it not showing?
Here, okay, let me stop broadcasting mine here.
Swap to... Okay, hold on. Okay, now I'll share.
We're just downloading a file. It's nothing complicated.
Yeah, I downloaded the file, jackass.
I'll walk you through this.
Every time I try to go to my desktop, though, it says stream paused.
Okay, don't worry about the stream. It's fine. Let's just get it fixed for you. All right, okay, go to that file that you downloaded. You have to extract everything. Let me know you've done that.
It's not giving me an option to extract anything. You're right.
Did you right click on it?
Yes, I right clicked on it. Thank you.
Okay.
I'm also not a retard. There's no.
Evidently, you are. But let's see. Okay. Well,
there's no extraction option.
Okay, I'm gonna extract my wiener from your head. Okay.
Open, share with Skype, transfer a copy, move to Dropbox, edit with Notepad+, scan with Microsoft Defender, open with, give access to, restore previous versions, send to, cut, copy, create shortcut, delete, rename properties. It's not giving me an extraction option.
Okay, double click on it. Maybe it's already extracted or something. I don't know.
No, when I double click on it, it wants me to choose how to open the file.
Okay, so let's see. Which one did I use? I think it was one file viewer or something. Let me try this again. All right, let's see.
This turned into an entirely different video. This got vulgar. It really did. I'm supposed to be playing Elden Ring. God damn it. I was going to beat Radon tonight.
Well, we found the one thing that Windows 11 does better is it automatically has an extract all button on it. that in Wi-Fi 6E that's the only advantages to Windows 11, I guess.
Can you open WinZip and open?
You need a
WinZip.
program to extract it. Do like Cool File Viewer or just download do Cool File Viewer. I think that works. Let me try it on mine. Or no, that's a pay one. Don't do Cool. Do
WinZip. WinZip is free, isn't it?
I think so. We just need to see the fucking files.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Never downloaded porn before?
Yeah, 20 years ago.
Okay.
And then
that's when you lost your any kind of passion in your life. After that, just couldn't actually get it up. I think it's gonna be No Sack as your new name.
You were not going to be Radon tonight. Fuck you, Jordan. You don't know that.
I actually want you to fix this so we can see you die to Radon again.
I'm not trying to fight Radon tonight. I gotta find more Scattertrue fragments. I gotta kill more bosses. So I gotta install another program.
Which you should just have on your computer already, but...
I don't fucking use my computer for this. Why is Office opening?
God. It's like I'm talking to like some 60, 70-year-old boomer here doing it. Oh my god, what did this pop up here? Oh, what is this? Windows Update, what the hell is that? Oh my god, what is it? PC load letter. What the fuck does that mean? That's right. I should turn this the thumbnail for this into like Grandpa Simpson at a computer. Trying to extract the file.
This was supposed to be a Capcom showcase, and now we've turned this into a full-on fucking podcast. And
Maybe that'll be our gimmick for our channel. Like we have, like you'll never know what the video is really going to be about.
there we go. Office Space still holds up.
Yeah.
Yeah, you never. This is what we intended to talk about. Waiting in anticipation. Oh,
Are you downloading a way to extract it now, or what are you doing?
I'm fucking downloading WinZip still. 3 seconds. I mean, my PC is fucking antiquated. It really is. I'm not gonna make any bones about it. Like it's old by PC standards.
Still, it should be.
Like I fucking bought it before like solid state drives were really becoming the norm for PCs. Like I bought this. I think I bought it like late 2015. And then
Not that bad though.
what's that?
It's not like that, like super ancient though. I mean, it's
Pretty ancient by today's standards, dude. Yes, you said WinZip. I'm working on it, guy.
It doesn't have to be WinZip. Just something. We're just trying to view the files.
I know. Just something to extract it with. Alright, I want to use the evaluation version because I'm not paying for anything. Go to home. Shut up, Nectar.
Man,
All right,
he's running out of them.
Unzip 2. All right, where should I unzip it
unzip.
to?
I'll unzip on you. Okay, let me know when you see the files.
Well, I still have to unzip it.
Okay, we'll unzip it. Whip it out.
I mean, does it really matter? Just unzip it to that?
Just do your desktop, whatever.
Yeah.
We're looking for that, what's it called? D3, whatever file.
Okay, the D3D8. This sounds familiar.
Yep, you got it?
Yep.
Okay, so now go on, you got Steam open, go on Steam.
Yeah.
Let me know when you pulled up the game.
Yep.
Okay, so you're going to want to go under the settings. Here, I'll walk you through the whole thing. Let me pull it back up here. Okay, so you click on the little gear icon, the setting icon. You go to manage.
Okay, browse local files.
Yep, browse local files.
Okay.
All right, and that's going to show you the files for the game. Now, take that D3, D8 file, .dll,
You mean
and just
the
throw it in here.
D3D8.dll file I already have in there?
Okay, well, throw it in there then.
Okay, I'll throw in the new one just for you.
If it's not working, then you have to reinstall everything.
I gotta I just reinstalled it. All right, so I got the D3D8.dll.
Okay, good. Now close that out.
Okay. And hit play.
And hit play. See what happens.
Okay, we're gonna see what happens.
MGS Rorschach is playing Legacy of Kain.
Cain refused the sacrifice.
Get the fuck out.
At
At last. I must say I'm disappointed.
It's so
in your
hard. Oh my
progress.
god, what
I
sorcery is
imagined you'd be
this?
here sooner. Tell me.
That
Did
is
it
some
trouble
shit
you
because
to
you have
murder
seen
your brother?
firsthand
Did it
like the
trouble
shitty
you
fucking
who
graphics
ordered
issues
me
that I
into
was
the
having.
abyss?
I understand. It took me all of like 5 minutes of like thinking about it and effort. to find this.
Eternity.
I did the same exact shit. I just told you how I had the
When I
D3,
first
D8
stole
DLL
it,
You must
file
have-
in my
must-
folder
you must
already.
have- ago.
You must have put like V8 energy drink in it or something. Tomato juice in it or something. I don't know because it seems like it's working for me now. And you.
Where am I?
All right, your game is fixed.
Is the usual question.
Figure
In
out
your
the
case,
controller stuff on your own.
where-
It works with the keyboard.
That is wild. That was a fun 30 minutes.
See, we all learned something here. Okay, I was 100%
Might
right
be
about
more.
PC.
Yeah, but I was not wrong about console because I still got my game
Very well,
launched on my PlayStation 3 sooner than either of us
If you
did.
prefer,
Yeah,
I
no, I'm
use
glad
my
you have your
bare
copy of the game.
hands.
What is somebody that doesn't have a copy of the game going to do?
Well, this is completely
they don't fucking play.
unexpected.
No,
This
they play with-
orb
they play- I showed them
disables
just how to do
our
it.
vampire.
What's that?
I showed him just how to do it.
All right, I think I'm ready to hop on some Elden Ring for a little bit here.
Okay, yeah, we'll
Just
wrap
a
up this strange video.
This fucking chaos here. Thanks, Jordan, for fucking opening this can of worms. That was fun. In terms of the Capcom showcase, that sucked. If I'm being
Yeah, that was
honest.
pretty bad.
That was pretty bad. I think that's why
you were better off. I mean, hindsight 2020. You're better off just watching this segment of the video.
just
we
watch
had
this.
fun and we learned
We had
something.
fun. We learned something.
We didn't have any fun. And we didn't learn anything with the Capcom showcase.
No, we did not. There was nothing to be had there. Are you gonna stay up for the Elden Ring at all, or are you going to bed?
Yeah, I'll watch it for not too long here, but I can watch it for a little bit.
Okay.
Probably midnight.
All right then. So yeah, we are the Game Reactionists. I am. What name should I pick for myself? I am. I am Ballsack.
I'm
And-
Sphincter.
If you haven't already, please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you're aware of when we upload new content, such as this craziness. We'll make sure that Jordan is always present here. He keeps us entertained. That'll do it, though. We'll catch you guys next time. Thank you for watching.